Hey everybody, welcome to your unpaid therapist.
Hello, welcome to another episode of your unpaid therapist.
I'm not getting paid. I didn't even get a donut.
Oh, that's sexy though. I like it.
I'm Valerie Milagros Ortiz.
I don't know.
I am your host, Ali Kona. She's away. Brad from work. This is your unpaid therapist. Shoo-wah, cha-cha. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, well, we have an intro. You guys know who we are. You're probably tired of our faces already. But anyways, hi. Whose face you are not tired of, though, is this beautiful, wonderful, radiant beam of light and energy. You guys, I'm going to hold off on the name. I'll be a little mysterious, okay? Because I met this lovely person many years ago. I don't even want to admit how many years ago it was. But when I first came out here, I took dance from Teresa. Dang it, I spoiled it. From Teresa. This is Teresa Espinosa, you guys. Hey. Yeah, hey, there we go. I feel like I should establish your street cred, but I might mess up your resume, so I'll let you just say hi quickly and what you've done in your life.
Oh, that's always a little weird to say your own resume. It's like,
how about what's your favorite?
Oh, God, that's weird too. Weird? Yeah, it's just hard. Everything was great, to be honest. So I've danced for, do I talk to the camera?
Yeah, whoever you want.
Oh, yeah, hi. Okay. Hi.
You got a camera there too.
That's true. Hi.
There's some people not watching this video, so they're just listening, right?
Okay.
So
hello.
This is your world. Look wherever you want.
So I have danced and worked with Janet Jackson, Britney Spears, Pink, Missy Elliott, Justin Bieber, Prince, Usher, Miley Cyrus. I did all the Magic Mike stuff. Hey.
And you were even in the movie.
I was in both.
Yes.
Not the third one, but
that's
the
my favorite
first two.
For you.
Yes, honey.
I was like, I'll pick.
Yeah. So, America's Best Dance Crew.
Right.
Yeah, with the Beat Freaks. Yeah. I've been around the world a little bit. Yeah, I've done
in her life.
a little bit.
And now you do a lot of energy work, which is what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Manifestation, like really cool stuff on our page, totally. But of course, we always start with never have I ever. So let's get into it.
We didn't.
I love it.
Okay, so you are our guest of honor. You just kind of pick one.
You might have to read it for me because I forgot my glasses. Okay.
Oh, that's the title card.
Yes.
We're going to go ahead.
See?
You read it.
Oh, never have I ever joined the Mile High Club.
That is true. Actually, I've never done that.
Oh, okay. We were both like, oh,
yes, good story.
Oh, no, I've never done that.
Yeah. And you've traveled so much, so I was kind of excited
I
that
know.
this might have been like the perfect story for you.
Oh, God.
Make something up. I'm just kidding. Okay, no. Okay. Alicona? No, you have to answer the question.
Oh, shoot, that's right. No, I have not. Are you kidding me? Do you know how smelly those bathrooms are? Like, I don't
disgusting.
understand.
Well, but okay.
They're disgusing.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, but I'm thinking mine answer is no. But also,
Let's just establish this.
I know, my answer is no. But I'm going to manifest that one day it's not going to be a little smelly bathroom. We're going to be in like these private, like nice
Right.
places. So that's, I feel like, when we join. I'm
United
just going to say that's
Emirates.
when I'm going to join.
Yes. I think that's a good question to ask people because maybe some people have done it. We just don't
sure.
know.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's people out there who
They don't
aren't
care.
clean.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say clean freaks because I don't think you have to be a clean freak to not think that bathroom is nasty.
Yeah.
But I don't think some people would care. Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously, there's the Mile High. That's a thing, right? Gosh, now I want to know, like, what if you're watching this episode,
Yes.
like, or listening? I need you to comment. Like, we need you to
Please.
discuss that you have.
And how?
Yes.
It's so small.
Yeah. And then
But I mean, I think we're okay. So we're asking, have you joined the Mile High Club in a commercial, like non-private?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Plane.
Yeah. If it's your own plane, I feel like that doesn't.
Or anything nicer.
I mean, it still kind of counts.
Oh, no, it totally
But-
counts.
but it's
I'm more
different.
interested in
Yes.
the, like, commercial,
Yes.
nasty little itty bitty
That's
bathroom.
right.
You
I
want
need to know.
Spirit Airlines?
Oh,
Stop it.
I will never fly that
Frontier.
airline ever again.
Stop it.
They're the Sorry, they're the worst.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're
I
honest here.
I had a really bad experience with Spirit Airlines. I cried. I literally cried.
geez.
Nobody would help me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
That's another podcast
It's not as
episode.
interesting.
Let's go into our never. Never have I ever walked in on my. That's what I haven't done, you guys. Never have I ever walked in on my parents having sex.
Yeah, no, never.
No.
Thank God. Oh, that's just disgusting. Oh, sorry.
That's you can curse all you want. No. Dang, that's a bad question then, because no, I haven't either. I think I may have like post coital.
Wait.
Oh.
What does that mean?
Like they did it or
Post-coit.
they already did the deed.
But what word did you use?
Coital?
Coital? I've never heard that.
Oh.
What does that mean?
I mean,
Like
that's
post.
Post
Sex?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this word. Coital?
Yeah.
We'll have to look it up.
I was like, I've never heard it.
Son too. We haven't hit any juicy ones. Like sometimes there's some really good like shat my pants. But no.
Those are still pretty.
I mean, had we...
They're kinda awkward.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't know.
Yeah.
The answer was
Yeah.
yes. I don't know. Never have I ever wore a prosthetic.
Oh.
Yes, I have. A couple times actually.
Yes.
So
Wait,
the first
what?
time a prosthetic.
I'm like my mind is going. What did you wear?
not a penis.
no,
not that kind of prosthetic.
So I wore my very first film. If you guys are new to the podcast, new to me in general, my first film ever was spoofing Jennifer Lopez in a movie called Date Movie. So I got to wear a big prosthetic booty, and it was so fun and like the best job ever because I'm a huge J-Lo fan.
Yes, me too.
So that was that. And then actually one of my first jobs back in Florida, I was a Who for Whoville at Universal. And so I wore the little prosthetic nose. And that was so cool. Like my brother was in it in the Christmas show, and I was in it. I was a cheerleader Who, and there was like a whole, little show, and then you got to like do the meet and greets with the guests of the park. And it's super cute, but it was hot as shit in Florida. And if it was hot, y'all, like, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's glued on. It's like a little rubbery piece that they put on your face. And and I'm a sweater. Actually, I was talking to Frank earlier about this. I'm a sweater. So like you would see these little bubbles come up on your face of the prosthetic nose, and you'd have to like, this is like nasty. You'd have to like pop them with a Q-tip. It's like, ugh. Or if you had a cold and your nose was like on, sniffly, you had to put the Q-tip inside the little holes of the little prosthetic nose and like kind of like dab it to like get yourself to not drip. It was quite a mission. But like all in all, it was such a cool gig and very fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys didn't wear prosthetic asses?
No. Now that you say that, I've worn on my face. Like I've had to be. This is a long ass story. It's just gonna be. I thought I auditioned for this theater thing. Like I did a monologue and everything. And then when I showed up to rehearsal, there were no lines, and I was rolling around on the ground. Some people were naked, and I was like, "What kind of
naked?"
Yeah, like a guy in a
This
tutu.
is an audition?
No, like I booked the job, and when I got there, it's like a guy had a tutu on, but no panties. Not that men wear panties. You know what I mean?
This is getting weirder.
And
by the way.
he ran and did a chasse and a split in the air, guys. And all you saw was ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. And then, under the like.
What job was this?
It was supposed to be a Halloween show. And instead, their version of Halloween was like being a freak. Like they were monsters, but they were freaks. I don't know. I was a scary person.
Wait, back to the prosthetic. What were you?
On my face, I was a monster of sorts.
Okay. I was like, where am I going with this thing-a-ling-a-ling?
I just was sorry, guys. Random.
That's what
penis
you
in there.
remember, though.
And you know what's crazy though? Okay, so the guy who did it, I mean, he voluntarily did this show, right, and showed the world his penis. Later on, I had an audition for Hit the Floor, which is a TV show that Val was on. Okay. Went to VH1, like the big headquarters, and I'm so nervous. And they call me up to like whatever floor. I have to take the elevator. I get in the elevator, and there's a man in a suit, and I look over, and it's the ding-a-ling guy. And I was like,
Did you say hi?
Yeah, and he's like, "How you been?" And da-da-da. And I'm like,
You're like, I've seen you.
I
I know you.
It was very small. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It was maybe it was a grower or not a shower. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
But either
I
way.
never knew that term. Like I've just heard that for the first time not too long ago.
Oh snap!
Yeah, grower not a, that sounds so funny.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
That's what I hear.
Anyway, so far off topic right now.
Well,
Anyway.
no, it's our That's the
It's
point, right?
hilarious.
I love it. So wait, so no prosthetics for you? Any kind of
No,
weird
the
things
only
during
thing
your...
that I can kind of relate to is I did this one-off show at Universal Studios with this girl. It was like a cover band, and it was, you had to be really like girly, and I'm a tomboy, so the other girl taught me how to tape my boobs together.
You're like, yeah.
I've never done it before, but it worked. And I remember afterwards, like the crew afterwards was like, "Hey, are you like?" They're trying to talk to him, like, "Bro,
Stop.
this isn't real, by the way. These tits are not real. They're
It's
taped
so
together."
funny. So you noticed a significant difference after
Oh.
you did that?
Totally,
That
because
is-
I'm like flat and
Oh,
whatever,
man.
and I'm fine. So yeah, but yeah, so it was funny to like get the attention in that way that I wasn't used to. Yeah,
Oh,
getting.
wow.
So yeah, it was funny, but that's my only prosthetic-y type thing that I've ever
I
done.
like it.
Yeah, and it worked.
That is funny. I love how you were able to witness the difference in
Yeah.
how you were being.
He was very attentive. I was like,
Very-
okay.
Oh, there you go.
So I want to talk to you about what you're doing now because
Yes.
you started originally integrating it into class, right? Like
Right.
you do a lot of energy work and you approach dance so differently. Not that our audience may or may not be dancers, but Teresa does a lot of. You can explain because I know you've transitioned. You were doing manifestation coaching. Now you're doing dream coaching. So tell us like what that looks like and how you help people. Like,
But
Yes.
before you dive in, I
Yeah.
want to know like what was the thing that made you want to transition to that specifically?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been dancing professionally and choreographing professionally in the entertainment industry for over 25 years, and then the pandemic hit, and so a lot of things shifted during that period. I was already energetically on my way out. I didn't know it at the time, and then the universe just swept in and said, "Hey, it's time to move on." So during the pandemic, I had to like grieve my career, grieve the people in it, and all these things. And through that process, I was already doing teaching and coaching to a certain extent, but this was like, okay, now it's time to actually dive in and move forward in this direction. And so I just been studying, learning about transformation. I've always used manifestation. I didn't know it at the time during my career, but I was using manifestation principles that I was learning about. I'm a big Abraham Hicks person, so I'm an Abrahamster, and that's how you learn how to manifest. I mean, connected to source, right? So just understanding how I was able to have success in my career and applying what I know now 25 years later, and then wanting to share that with people because you come out here in LA and it's like the stars and the lights and the glitz and the glam and the fame and the money, what looks like money, and people want to have their time, to shine and achieve the dream. And so I want to help people do that, but we're all like kind of stuck in our own stuff and our limiting beliefs, and it works for other people but it doesn't work for me, like all the little small talk that we do, the mindset work. I didn't know I was doing that in my career, but I was constantly working on it. And not only the mindset and the manifestation and the energy stuff, and also the skills. I was always working on the skills, always. So yeah.
Was that something that you saw growing up, and so you innately inherited that from people around you, or was it something that you think was just naturally something that you had, and then just later on in life so happened to realize like, oh, I was just doing that, or was it learned?
I don't know.
I want to hear. Okay, you've shared this example on your social, and I told Valerie about it. Or no, maybe it was just me and you we were talking.
Yeah.
But the whole, you were on tour with Janet Jackson, you came back home, and it was like, and I'm back in the dancer pool.
Yeah.
And you would go to the auditions, and you would do what?
Yeah. So I think basically, like the love of the love of what I was doing was always just enough. I was obsessed with dance. I didn't care if I was being a student, taking a class, if I was at practice, if I was doing carnival 1,000 times, which I did.
It's free. That's a free show.
Yeah,
you guys.
yes.
Yeah.
If you literally after Janet, I did a whole year of carnival shows, literally every month. It's a once a month show. And that meant I wasn't working. So for a whole year, even after booking Janet and dancing with her, people would think, oh, well, you've made it. And for me, I was like, no, that's not the end of my journey. I still love dance. So I was still taking class. I was practicing. I started teaching. I just was consumed. And I didn't let one accomplishment be the end all be all of who I was. And because dance was so important to me. So I just kept going. And then 5 years later, the next thing that was like, significant, even though there were things in between, was dancing for Britney Spears. So that it took 5 years to do that. But in the meantime, I was doing carnival for a year for free. I wasn't booking gigs, and it was a struggle. You're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to find your place in the world, who you are, what you want to say, what you want to do, and at the same time, you want to do the dream. And it's a struggle.
And so, but during that, like, struggle, did you feel like you were struggling, or were you so consumed and happy because you're doing what you're doing that it was just part of you just living and enjoying what was in the present moment?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes and no. So there was one day I remember specifically where I went to one audition and I made it to the second cut. And I got cut, the second cut. So I didn't make it to the end. And then I went to a second audition on the same day, made it to the second cut, and didn't get that job either. And I left that day going, I was so defeated. I was like, what the? Can I? All right, let's go. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? What do I need to do? And I'm crying. I know I'm a tomboy.
That's before Janet or after?
This is probably after Janet. It's a blur.
Yeah, I mean, you work for so many people. I'm just curious at the timeline and like what, because I mean, it'd make a difference too on like possibly, maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what?
So I just kept going. You have to be very resilient. It's just like you just have to pick yourself up back off the floor after you just like cry it all out, and you want to be accepted. You want to be seen and validated, and we can get into like how that affects people now with social media, which thank God I didn't freaking have to deal with that you just had the people in front of you at the audition where you compared yourself to. I compared myself to like Lisette Bustamante and Diana Carino and Stacey Flood. Like they were the girly girls that were booking they were the it girls of my generation, and I looked nothing like them. I was a tomboy. I freestyled, and I didn't know how I was supposed to fit into the scene. So I just had to keep going. Yeah.
I just had a memory. So this is something that you did in a class, and I really appreciated it. So one of the things that happened before Teresa teaches a class, you guys, she does this whole energy work thing first, and then you actually do the class, right? So one thing you said to me is, don't try to look like me. There's only one unique you. You weigh however much you weigh. Your arms are this many centimeters long. Like, how could you physically possibly move exactly like me when your body composition or whatever is not mine? So you're trying to achieve something that is essentially not achievable.
Exactly. Yeah. And also we each have unique gifts that we don't fully understand. We're not taught to like lean into those. We're taught to conform and be liked and accepted. And if that means I have to hide a piece of me so that everyone else will accept me, which I'm going to get into it a little bit,
Please.
but the pandemic did that. It's like you have to conform. So, and if you don't conform to the masses or what's the trend or the morally the moral compass, what's morally acceptable, then you're on the out, and that's really challenging place to be. But being on the out means you get to be an individual and you get to stand on your own 2 feet and you get to lead yourself. And when you lead yourself, you're able to lead others. But people don't understand that. They're literally in the masses. There's a whole group of masses thinking this is what everybody needs to do, and they're all lost. And there's no leader. There's no leader in that. You're just all one big whole group think. And my whole career was led by my heart and what was right for me. My whole career. So you already know. Sorry, I'm laughing because it's deep, but yeah.
So how can you apply this, like, for somebody else who has a big dream or whatever, and we're talking about like getting in your own way, like how do we get out of our own way? How do we know we're in our own way? Like, how do you get that awareness?
That's a good question. How do we get out of our own way? The thinking mind will confuse a lot of things. When we check in with the heart has a simple answer, but we confuse it with the mind, where it needs to know how we're going to get there. So when we think about the dream and what you want to accomplish, the mind will go, I need a plan from A to Z so that I know I'm going to achieve it. But that's not how the universe works. Energetically, you really have to be able to let go of control and let go. Yes, we can have a plan as part of the journey, but really letting life unfold for you and you being led by your heart and what lights you up. What are you excited about? What's fun? And go do that.
I like that you said that too, because it's been a balance struggle for me, because I was so just like determined, this is what I want, I need a goal, I need to do this, that, and be productive, and da 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 da. So it's trying to find that balance between being productive but allowing, and not going into the allowing zone and being lazy. Does that make sense?
Yes, which can happen in that spiritual space when we talk about energy work of like, I'm just gonna manifest, I'm gonna sit here and manifest. I've done that. I've literally just sit around and like that's what I do. I sit around all day. But also having the goal or the action, what I've learned is like being inspired, which is different than using your mind to go, I'm going to make it happen. And when you make something happen, you're using brute force. And not that that's wrong, and it can work, and it does work, because there's a lot of masculine energy behind that where it's like attack, right? But then the feminine energy is receiving and allowing. So finding that duality of action, moving forward, and also sitting back and receiving. And it's just it's a practice. And knowing when you're actually really trying to force things to happen, which is where the struggle comes in, or you're going, okay, I'm going to trust, let go, and receive, which is all feminine. So it's just a practice of energies and knowing when you're doing one thing or too much, and also sitting back and waiting for something to happen. That's also possible too. But I find it, even with Abraham Hicks, she talks about inspired action.
Yeah.
Sit there until there's like, what's fun, what's interesting, what's going to light me up today. And it could be something really simple, like going for a walk, and then you sparks an idea. And then you go, oh, that idea is cool. And you get inspired and you go home and you're like, I got to go do that thing. Yeah. And then you go do it. Mm-hmm. And it's just, there's a flow to it.
And even outside of something as specific as that, I feel like simplifying it even more into, and then not focusing so much on the result to get an idea or a creative, anything to go towards a goal. If you simplify it so much as just being happy, like you said, or just having the fun, all of that is just gonna come, right? And I think when that imbalance happens is when we shift it to a result or attach it to a specific goal. But when you just focus on the fun and the feeling happy, she always says, like, you just do what makes you happy, naturally you're going to attract other happy things. Naturally, gratitude is just going to like just flow at you, because you're just going to be like, Like, I'm so like grateful that blah 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 this happened and the sun came out today. What I mean, you know. So I think simplifying it is huge, because especially now, even when you mentioned the whole social media stuff, there's so many things that going on in the world right now, and having the followers and the viewers and the, even, you know, with this journey with us, like we did a whole season and then we kind of revamped it and started a kind of a new shift in it. There's just so much pressure to do and be liked, and yes.
So what do you guys think about this? Because I'm always playing, for lack of better words, like devil's advocate. But in the past, for example, like I would look to people like Elon Musk, or not that I'm trying to be Elon Musk, guys, but he's a name that's brought up a lot, right? And you hear the stories about how he sleeps, like he would sleep at the factory and he's working all these hours, and you know what I mean? And he's obviously achieved this certain amount of success. So it's like, something tells me, I mean, I don't know, me and Elon, we ain't homies, but something tells me he's not sitting there like, let me do my manifestation.
Exactly.
Let me listen to some Abraham Hicks. Like, that boy don't have time for that. So like, how do we explain a phenomenon like him versus what we're saying you should be doing to be successful in the balance?
Totally hear what you're saying, and you're right. Like, I think that works for him. Right? Not everybody. So even though he has this tremendous vision of success, like to me, success is whatever is right for you. So for some people, success is having a family. It looks nothing like Elon Musk, you know, being at a, you know, sending things to Mars, you know, it's like,
or being at the office, you know, 24/7, 24/6, you know, yeah.
Right. And so even though we do put him on a pedestal as far as like this idea of success, Jeff Bezos, who like, you know, created Amazon, we all use it. It's like impact. We all want to have this impact on the world, and also knowing where your impact lies. Like some people, it's literally, my kids are my legacy. And that's enough for them. They don't have to go write a book so that they can leave a legacy behind. That's not their stick. You know, there's a guy that I saw a video of who lives on an island by himself. Oh. That's his dream. He's living his dream, and nobody has to know his name. We all think we have to have this like powerful impact and leave something behind, and it's okay if we don't. I believe it's okay if we don't.
I feel like that is very entertainment world. LA, you know, big city thinking. But yeah, I 100% agree that that is not everybody's dream or wish, you know, and it's almost something they would not want, like purposely, like, oh, no, I don't want people knowing who I am when I'm going to get coffee at Starbucks. Like,
but also too, I feel like we do attach success to numbers, meaning how much money you make.
Yep.
And not everybody, but at the same time, it's like you do. And I've even thought about it to myself, right? Because I'm on my journey towards success and my dreams. And there are certain things that are still building, like even this podcast or whatever, we're still building and not where our peak is. And in that moment, I'm not peaking financially either, because I have so many things that are brewing below the surface in this current moment in my life. And looking at that, and still being like, okay, I am successful, versus looking at my bank account or what my weekly paycheck is and being like, if anybody were to ask me on the surface, I'm like, I feel like I'm not successful because I don't have X, Y, and Z. But realizing, like you said, it's what everybody else thinks is successful. Let that be what they think.
Right.
And to separate yourself from that and be okay with where you are and feeling the success.
Yeah. And I think that's key, because even if, and you'll listen to the podcast when editing, but even in your description of that, you even said that you, like, that wasn't success to you. So you've already told yourself that story. You know, so I think, yeah. So, and you'll listen to it again, and it's like, well, because that's the core of it. Yeah. It has to be the core of it. And we've talked about, you know, we talk all the time. We've talked about all those, because those details matter. And that belief starts at that seed. And if that seed doesn't believe all the things, like, and then, you know, the success, the relationship success, the personal success and whatever, fitness, anything, it's just not gonna realize it's not, because it's not truth to you, because that's really all that matters.
And success is a moving target.
Yes,
It's a
that is
moving
whole
target.
fact.
Know, so you could say, okay, my barometer, my measure is going to be when I make $100,000 for the year, right? And it's good to have a North Star. It is. We need those North Stars, and also enjoy the journey to the North Star is what's going to make it taste so much sweeter when it happens. It's that we're fighting against ourselves on the way there, and that's where we prolong the journey, and it just keeps feeling further and further and further, and we get more desperate, and that energy of desperation is really a block, and we're going, okay, I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough, I gotta da-da-da, and our mind is like, I gotta figure this out, and the universe goes, I have the way. And if we can just open our hands and kind of shut the thinking mind off just a bit and tap into the heart, then the $100,000 is a North Star, but it won't make or break you. Mm-hmm. Just like Janet Jackson was my North Star, but it didn't make or break me. I would have kept dancing regardless if I'd have danced for her or not. Mm-hmm. That's the truth. Yeah. So...
I'm like, next episode, tell us how to hack that part so we can get to our dream a little bit faster. Anyways, yeah. But Val, I know you have a quote for us. I do.
Yeah, I was. What's interesting is, so I thought our podcast was going one way, and I mean, I have quotes about not about. There's one that's it's not about fitting in, but belonging. Talking about especially the comparison thing and with all the socials, and there was this other quote, and I don't have my phone because we're recording, and I was trying to remember it, but it was something about like, for instance, you mentioned the North Star. It was essentially something like, write your North Star in pen, but leave the journey to get there in pencil. Something that's horrible,
that.
But it's something about like that. It's like you can write that end goal, write that shit down in pen, magic marker, permanent marker, but the journey and the process and the goals to get there, that list, write that in pencil. Mm-hmm. Scratch it off, erase, because that's gonna ebb and flow. It's gonna change, but you're still gonna get to that North Star. Anyway,
I love that. Well, I think we're running out of time, guys.
For this episode.
Yes.
She's
but we'll
not
have
going
more.
anywhere.
We'll have more. And but before we leave, really quick, because I know you do Move on Purpose Mondays. If you guys want a dose of inspiration, by all means, go find Teresa. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
Yes, thank you. You can find me at moveonpurpose.com, and I do have a weekly newsletter where I talk about AI, I talk about manifestation, energy, transformation, creativity, all the things, money. I love money. We talk about all those things, and you can find me on Instagram at Teresa, Teresa .Espinosa, Espinosa 22 on Instagram.
Yay! Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll have more Teresa to come in future episodes, so you'll have to check those out. In the
bye,
meantime. Oh, okay. Bye.
Bye.
Hard out. Goodbye.
Bye, Felicia.